right, good morning. Can you all hear me in the bad seats back there? Great. Quick, show of hands. Who here in emergency management thinks they get paid enough? Okay, I want to talk to you after the class. So I'm going to say something that a lot of you are going to consider blasphemous. And before I say it, I also want to say that I'm not picking on any one of you hardworking emergency managers as individuals. I want to be very clear about that. So brace yourselves. And Donna, we took all the rotten tomatoes off the tables, right? Good, thank God. All right, so what I'm going to say is emergency management is not a profession. You want me to say that again? It's not a profession. And I know that there are some people in the back that are going, what the heck did I just hear? Is he crazy? Like somebody get him off the stage, because that's not cool. We're a profession. Everybody knows it, right? Well, the deal is this, that professions have basically four major components. The first is there's a standardized body of knowledge that's shared across all the members of the profession. That body of knowledge is then tested to a standard. You need peer acceptance and then some sort of licensure that says you're qualified to do what you do. Well, guess what? We're missing all four of those things. We don't have any of those things in emergency management. And until we do, we're never going to be considered a profession. So think about medicine, accounting, law, nursing. They all have a body of knowledge. In medicine, you go to medical school, then you take the USMLE, you get a state license to practice, and then you can be a doctor and do medicine. Nursing, my wife is here, she's a nurse. She went to nursing school. She passed the NCLEX. She applied for and got a state license, and guess what? Now she's a nurse. Lawyers, law school, the bar. Accountants, they take, accounting classes in college, and then they pass the uniform CPA examination. Look, even barbers and beauticians have to pass an exam and get a license. And they don't even have lives in their hands, right? But what do we have in emergency management? Zip, nada, nilch, nothing. You don't have to pass an exam. You don't have to show you know your stuff. There are lots of routes of entry into emergency management. Like, you could be a retired firefighter, retired cop, transition out of the military. You could be in CERT, American Red Cross volunteer. You could have gone to college and gotten an emergency management bachelor's or maybe a master's degree. Or you could have worked on the mayor's campaign and they couldn't find any other job in city government, so they stuck you in emergency management, right? So there are all these multiple routes of entry into emergency management. But once you get that job, what says you know anything about it? What classes have you taken? I'll sit here and I have IS 100, 200, 300, 400, 701, 700, 800. I got all these IS classes. Look, folks, that's table stakes. That's your basic ante to be in emergency management. Doesn't mean you know anything about anything. And in fact, we all know that you can pencil whip those classes, except for 300 and 400, where you have to watch your eyes glaze over. But honestly, you don't have to do any of that, and you can still get a job in emergency management. So, without this emergency management body of knowledge, without some sort of standardized test, without some sort of licensure, it's really hard to call ourselves a profession. And we need to change that. We need to work on that as a field, as a group of people, as an association. We need to demand more of ourselves, because there are people who's counting on us. There are other professions that are looking at us going, yeah, that's cute, but you don't have a license, and without a license, without some sort of standard, it's really hard to say that we're professionals. Now, I know that there are some of you right now running through the back of your head, they're saying, well, what about the CEM exam? Well, CEM exam tests mastery. The CEM is a master's certification. It's not an entry-level certification. Well, okay, well, I could buy into the idea of having an AEM exam that becomes your entry-level exam that then gets presented to an authority having jurisdiction to get your state license. Now, that's actually a model that we use in emergency medical services. Anybody here have an EMT card? Raise your hands. Yes, thank you. All right, so you are trained against the national standard curriculum. There are actual standards, and whatever class you take, you get trained against those standards. And then when you take your either national registry test or your state EMT test, you get tested against that body of knowledge. And then guess what? You get your ticket to ride. Well, folks, we really need to do the same thing in emergency management. And I'd like to challenge us to get out there and to push for this. And, you know, there's a guy named Adam Ingram. If you haven't ever been on LinkedIn, Google, look at Adam Ingram or hashtag EM low pay. All right? He posts all the time about low-paying jobs in emergency management. Folks, if you don't want to raise your hand anymore when people say, do you get paid enough in emergency management? Becoming a profession is the way to do it. Thank you.